episode 3. I mean, I
holy shit.
Yeah. Let's start with that. Episode 3.
So it's interesting. There's some times where we, like, Sarah and I will sit down and watch a movie or a show, and usually it's a movie, and I'm like, all right, well, let's see what this is about. And then there's like this huge emotional scene in there, and she's just like on the couch, just like you can see she's welling up, tearing up, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't realize this was going to be sad. You know, I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't pick this to be sad. I know we got to watch something funny after this to kind of get your, level out the emotions there. But holy shit. When we were watching episode 3, I look over, she looks over, and like she's not even looking, she doesn't like looking over when she's crying. And I am like, I can't hold it in. Yeah. I can't hold it in. Holy shit. This was like pure ugly crying.
Yeah, this I'm reading like feedback on Reddit, feedback on Facebook, and it was all, especially on Facebook. I mean, on Reddit, there are the people who are just giving the disclaimer. Oh, I should give a disclaimer too. Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Yeah, if you haven't watched The Last of Us and you want to, and you're not caught up, stop listening now. But yeah, all grown, on Reddit, they're giving a disclaimer of, I'm a grown ass man, I'm a 40-year-old man, and then the very obviously men on Facebook, and all of them saying, yeah, crying like a bitch over here, crying ugly tears.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh yeah, it was like, there's sometimes like you kind of like you get emotionally, it's like one little tear comes down, you're like, maybe a little sniffle.
Yeah,
like this was like,
oh dude, I was
and
trying.
I thought it was done, and then I thought I was done, and then you're like, it picks back up, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
And now do you watch the post credit scene, if you will?
Like the making of?
The little vignette, the making of.
I did. Yeah, I always watch it.
And the fact that he was like, I've watched this 200 times and I still cry.
Oh yeah, Craig Mazin, the creator, the co-creator.
He's like, yeah, that. All right. And apparently there's a 2-hour cut of that episode.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Just to really get your heartstrings even worse. And so people are like, release the cut, release the 2-hour cut.
Of course, there's always a longer cut, and then there's always the petition to release the longer cut.
It's not like it's the Snyder cut.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think more it's a bit more if we want to see a bit more, prepper Ron.
Yeah.
And a little bit more of the in-between history, I think, is probably what they cut through.
Now, it wasn't always supposed to be Nick Offerman playing Bill.
No, it was not. Who was it first?
I don't oh God!
I thought you had the fucking answer. I was pitched it to you, and you fucking swinging the
well,
miss.
Okay.
What an asshole!
I wanted to say Tip O'Neill, but that doesn't sound right. Spiro Agnew.
Yes, the Tip O'Neill, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tip O'Neill. Yes.
Walter Mondale. He's still alive, right? No.
Oh God.
Geraldine Ferraro.
Yes, it was Geraldine. Yes, it was 100% Geraldine.
I don't know his name. I'm sorry.
But either way, he had to back out.
And Offerman stepped in.
Yeah, but he originally wasn't going to take it. He was like, I don't know. I don't know if like, and his wife's like, you're fucking going to Canada. And he goes, okay, I guess I'm going to Canada.
I want you out of the house. I'm going to look up this fucker's name. Oh, okay. So, while I'm looking for that though, I was half right. Con O'Neill.
Oh, okay.
I knew it was an O'Neill, and it was a 3-letter word.
Weird first name, right?
3-letter name. Yeah. Con Tip.
Yeah.
So, Frank's illness was never specified on the show.
I assumed it was like a variation of like ALS or something like
that. Craig Mazin confirmed in an interview that it's either MS or ALS. So good news for me. But
all right, you just have to find a bill.
Yeah, so I don't know if do you think it would have had the same emotional impact if Offerman wasn't in the role?
I would say yes, because there are definitely other actors that could definitely fulfill that role. I'm not going to go through a list of them, but I'm sure there are. But I think the other thing is he embodies the grit, gruff, I can make it kind of like manliness to it, where it really just tears you down when you understand he is emotionally attached to this guy. It's not just, well, he's here, I needed company. Guy's like, no, I fucking love the fact that no one was here.
Imagine like actually accidentally casting a survivalist to play the survivalist.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I made guys, I know production hasn't started yet, but I just figured I'd make the whole set anyway, and I was going to live in here for 6 months to just want to keep it authentic, okay?
Just see him just with that scowl, that Ron Swanson scowl on his face, just like.
Have you seen the memes of him walking through Lowe's, and him going to Home Depot in the post-apocalypse? I can help you. I know more than you.
He just stares at his camera and goes, "I built this whole town."
Including the boutique.
Oh, speaking of Fleetwood Mac, they played a very, very, very early Fleetwood Mac song in that episode. They played, I think it was from the first album. I forget which song it was, but I know it's the album is called Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac. So they were really, really going into it there.
I'm Coming Home to Stay.
That's right. That's the song. So, so we get to where Frank is dying and it tells Bill that it's my last day. And like, I'm starting to feel it. I'm starting to, I'm starting to feel it, like the tears coming, but I'm like, all right, bye.
This is going to be like a speed bump of emotion. Okay. All right. Yeah. You're thinking okay, it's just gonna be all right, a little hump over. All right, we're good. When they're trying to pull on my heartstrings. It's understandable. Okay, I can do this, no problem. I'm a man.
When something
I drink whiskey, I shoot guns.
I drive a Dodge Stratus.
I can handle it.
Whenever things like this happen, I take a cue from what's his face who played Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird.
No, the original. Okay, all right.
When
Gregory Peck,
when it's in the courtroom, and I think it's Boo Radley's giving his soliloquy, whatever you want to call it, and Gregory Peck bit the inside of his cheek, like almost to the point of bleeding, to stop himself from breaking down while they were filming it. So I tend to do that because it's like a good distraction, but it wasn't working. And then the second Offerman starts crying, that's when I lost it. And I'm sitting with Becky, and I even just said, I don't like it when Nick Offerman cries. And they go through that whole scene, and I don't remember if it was then, I can't remember if they'd even gotten to the part yet where then they go to the boutique and then they, do their wedding and all that. Or if it was right before then, but, this just wasn't having the same emotional impact on Becky. So she pauses it for me. And that was the first time I've ever had to stop watching something to like compose myself, to just get it out of my system.
I could not. No. There would have been things thrown at me if I tried to pause that.
Yeah.
Like it was, I had to, the whole thing, I had to have everything wash over me.
Oh, damn. No, she stopped.
Not a break.
She stopped it for me. And I all of my credit to her for being there to comfort my
broken soul.
bitch ass. Yeah. Because, I lost it, and I'm pretty sure it was right before then the next sequence of events. So like that,
then you lost it again.
Taking that break didn't do anything for me.
No, exactly. So then, you didn't do anything.
God damn, though. I mean, that episode, well deserving of its accolades.
Oh my God, yeah.
And it of course, like it's getting review bombed by.
Oh my, yeah. But it's kind of, I mean, it's funny how just stereotypical the review bombing is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
like you got to come to expect it, right? Like,
yeah,
that's if it's, of course, it's going to be two gay guys. Like, of course, there's going to be people, even just a troll. There's going to be people out there that get set off by it. But I'm glad it's. I'm glad it's being discounted and it's being swept aside, and that the praise and the accolades that this episode is getting is at the forefront.
But my God, yeah.
But then there's people out there saying that the episode was just filler and that they didn't care about it.
Oh, those are the fucking diehard fucking video gamers. And you're just like, guys.
Well, no, it's not.
Really?
It's people that have never played the game before and don't understand why we got this entire episode devoted to Bill and Frank. Now, Mike, I know you are very close now to being able to play the game for yourself.
I believe a month and a half away, 2 months, a month. Yeah, a month and a half, I think.
Yeah, it got delayed, but it's still coming out in the same. It's still coming out in March. It just end of March instead of beginning. Okay. But I'm really trying to spoil this. It's the show. This episode gives you something the game didn't give you.
Exactly. And that's exactly, and that's the thing. The actual video game creator is in the show. Like he is with the show production. It's not like, oh, we just bought it from him. We're going to do whatever the fuck we want. He's told us, I don't know how many times, I'm going to look at this idea. If this idea is not as good as what the game was, we toss it. If this idea builds upon and grows the idea of what this game was, we will include it.
Yeah,
and he also said, if you want us to make a scene for scene rehash of the video game, go and replay the fucking video game.
Yeah. Druckmann doesn't fuck around.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all the games that he's released in his time. He does not fuck around. Yeah, the people who were just discounting it as filler, not understanding it, were also very open to say, I've never played the game, so why should I care about this? And the responses were, play the fucking game, or at least watch clips of it on YouTube. Get yourself up to speed.
But that's the thing. I've never played the game, and I did not appreciate it, you know?
Yeah.
It was nice to not have... I understand the trepidation because you've got there was so much bullshit filler with The Walking Dead. And I think that's what people were turned off by. But this is completely different. This is not a filler episode. It gave us a history timeline without, in a different way as well.
If they did also go 100% as the game plays out, then I mean that's one of my favorite levels of the game. And it would have just been a 60, 45 to 60 minute long stealth gore fest. So I'm glad they did what they did.
Exactly.
How did you feel about that incredibly accurate depiction of 10 miles outside of Boston, Massachusetts?
Oh man, everybody piled on that one, right? I was like, guys, you got enough CGI budget. Get rid of the fucking Rocky Mountains in the background.
That was so bad. There's no way you can.
And there were some people trying to justify, well, if you go 10 miles out, yeah, there are forested areas 10 miles out. The problem is it's not fucking Rocky Mountain High over here.
They don't look like that.
No. I mean, you might find a ravine half that size at best. But if you're going to find something close to that, you got to go to the fucking Berkshires to get anything close to a mountain.
You know what they should have done is they should have gone to just any dump and film in that dump and then put a little title on screen that says Waltham, Massachusetts.
Burn.
Yeah, that was I mean, if that's the worst thing that happened in that episode, I'll take it. But it was really fucking hilarious that they showed that.
And I think the only thing that matters is it's us.
It's local. Yeah, the local people are gonna...
if somebody from California is oh, it's a Massachusetts match. Okay, all right, whatever. Gloss over it. They don't know.
What's really funny is that in the game, when you start that level and you start off the level, literally jumping off of Route 2 to go into the woods, and there's a sign, and it's the Welcome to Lincoln sign in the style that we have them in Massachusetts, looking like a book.
Not that I know exactly where you're talking about because I've never driven Route 2 my entire life.
Yeah, so in the game, they at least for that part, got it accurate. Although they claimed it was in Amherst County, which isn't accurate in the least, because there is no Amherst County. There is an Amherst. It's on the complete opposite side of the state.
Yeah, creative license apparently, but yeah, when it comes to Bostonians, right? We're very particular. We don't want you to fuck up our accents. And you don't want to fuck up our locations. I do. Sarah really appreciate. Oh my God, they did Cumbies.
They did.
But the thing is, she didn't understand. She thought Cumbies was more well known. She's, oh, there's a Cumbies. Like, yeah, you don't understand. No one outside of New England knows what the fuck Cumbies is, and really almost Eastern New England knows what a Cumbies is.
Some people are upset because they use the more modern looking design for Cumbies and not the like
a 2003 version.
Like. Yeah, that's another thing that this show does that I think is kind of odd, is that Outbreak Day happened in 2003 in the show, so they could, when they do the time jump, that it takes place in 2023.
Yeah,
but in the game it takes place in 2013. So
okay,
you could have
the outbreak or the
outbreak.
Okay,
so then everything that then happens from that point on technically is 2033. Okay. They could have done the same thing, because like the world comes to a complete standstill. It doesn't matter what year it is; it's going to look the same. It's going to look post-apocalyptic.
I don't know. Maybe because they wanted to eliminate certain technological aspects of it. I don't know.
That's a good point. What I've been doing with Becky, because she's not into video games, she's never going to play The Last of Us. I've been showing her clips from the game after every episode, like the clips that where I know they're coming from in the game, to show her this is what they're sourcing here. Tess's final scene, for example, to show her, or the opening scene of the first episode, comparing it to the opening of the game, just to show her this is what they're basing it off of. And for those,
did you rickroll her with the opening scene of Skyrim?
the car
finally awake
crashes, and Sarah wakes up and she's on the fucking carriage. Oh shit.
I mean, come on.
Oh, that's gold. And Joel's sitting there and he's like, Rorikstead. I'm from Rorikstead. That's awesome. Oh, I should have, but I didn't. I'm not that clever. But there is, when
comedy gold.
See, what I'm excited is when you play the game, and having watched the show, and when you play the game, I think you're going to appreciate all these, everything you've seen in the show even more, just to see the source material from where they're pulling it. And then you can see like what's different versus, what is, almost 100% parallel to the game. But they're,
and it's gonna be nice, because I know I'm going to be missing stuff, because it's like, oh, this was in the show, it's not in the game. All right, so I can't just be blindly walking through going, all right, okay, I know what I'm going to do next. I know what's going to happen next. I know this. I know that. I know this. It's like, all right, I actually have to pay attention as it's a new game.
Yep. The actor that plays Tommy in the show, Gabriel Luna, is the only one, I believe, who has actually played the game.
Really?
Pedro Pascal, Bella Ramsey, none of them, they were familiar with the game, but they don't play video games, so they didn't. Pedro Pascal might have played it. If not, he had someone.
Henry Cavill.
Yeah, he had someone like play it and he watched. But Gabriel Luna's the only one that's actively played it, and I think he even said he's played it like more than once. So I can tell, especially in the first episode, how he's portraying Tommy, and it's funny, you can tell who's played the game and who hasn't. And I can just see it with Tommy's performance. Episode 4 has, I'm not going to say whose character is, but has the actor who plays Tommy in the game playing a different character.
I heard, or I was told, or I read that there actually are gaming people in the actual series. So
I think almost all of the main cast, with the exception of Annie Wershing, the late Annie Wershing, almost all of the main cast is in the show, but playing different roles, with the exception of Marlene. Marlene, the actress that plays Marlene, also plays her in the game. And I don't know why that they made that decision. I don't know if it was someone else was supposed to play her and there was a dropout. But that's the only instance where it's the same casting. All the other characters, all the other actors show up playing different characters. But yeah, the Annie Wershing thing was bizarre because she was Tess in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess like at the literally the last second for episode 3, they threw in a title card at the end, like an in memoriam for her, because I think she only died like just a few hours before the episode premiered.
Damn.
Yeah. But I episode 4, I think you'll like it. I'm excited to see what they're setting up here, because they're at a spot where they are doing things that happen in the game, but they've also deviated off the path just far enough. So I'm very curious to see where they go next week with this, because now it's at the point where it's not 1-to-1 with the game. It's more like, 0.5 to 1, if you will. But I like it though. Would you say that episode 3 was on the same level as Ozymandias from Breaking Bad? In terms of greatest hour of television in the history of the medium?
Better. I'd have to say, I'd have to give it time.
Okay.
I feel like probably Ozymandias may be a better episode overall, but my God, I don't think I've seen a more emotional episode than episode 3.
I agree. Because I had posted something on, I left a comment on something on Facebook saying that I considered this episode to be a rival to Ozymandias. I didn't say it was better.
Mm-hmm.
Called it a rival in terms of storytelling, in terms of quality and impact. And that was, I've never seen more polarizing responses to anything. Some people agreed. Some people wanted to kill me.
I do have to say, though, there has been only one other episode of television that has gotten me, I feel like, that close to episode 3. It was the pilot episode of Touch. Had Kiefer Sutherland in it.
Okay.
It was a short-lived series, but holy crap, that episode of Touch, amazing episode. And I don't know if it fell off or what, or I think it might have been part of the writer's strike debacle. But yeah, it was, that right there got me crying hardcore before. And it involves kids, and it was before I had kids. So like the emotional attachment, not there at all. So it was purely good writing and good acting.
Okay. Man, I've never even
heard of it. I know. Not many people have.
January 25th, 2012 to May 10th, 2013. Okay.
Yeah. Short-lived.
Yeah, I would say that in terms of emotional response for what this episode did to me, it is now my number 1.
Yes.
Because before it was Anthony Edwards' last episode of ER. There's impossible to watch that episode with a dry eye.
There was one episode of, was it House? I think it might have been House. But no, The Good Doctor. I think it was The Good Doctor. And it was an episode where the person's alive and they've got terminal cancer or something like that. And they do the walk, the walk of glory, the angel walk. What's that called? And all of the doctors line up on either side of the hallway.
Okay.
Because they've acknowledged that they're dying and they're going to go into the OR, die on the table, and give their organs up to somebody else.
Okay.
And it's they picked the perfect song. I don't even remember what it is, but you turn the corner and you weren't expecting that to happen in the episode, and you see it and everybody's just lining up and you're just like, oh my God. Oh. That was a quicker cry, but this episode 3, I was minutes long crying, minutes long.
Do you think that this Linda Ronstadt song is going to have sort of like a Pavlovian effect where you the tears start welling up when you hear it?
I don't think so. I don't think it's no.
All right, because there's that. So, there's a version of "Somewhere Over the Rainbow" by that really fat Hawaiian guy.
Yeah, Israel coming in yeah, that one guy.
Well,
yeah.
that plays during Anthony Edwards' last episode of ER. That's anytime I hear that, I have to like
stop what you're doing.
Yeah, I always have to like take a second and be like, it's okay. The episode's not playing.
It's like hearing Arms of an Angel and having to donate to the SPCA.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, so I don't know if the season 2 finale of Mandalorian got knocked off my list, because before it was on my list, but also on the list was Herschel's last episode of The Walking Dead.
Oh, that was tough. That was tough. I didn't get emotional like weepy teary with Mandalorian. I had that welling up of like I wasn't say pride, but like happiness and joy.
Yeah.
Like it warmed my soul. And it was just this euphoric feeling the entire time of just like nirvana, bliss of just like, oh, that is Mandalorian 2 for me.
That's a good point. Yeah. That's a good way of describing it. Whereas like The Walking Dead, for example, is just depression.
Yeah.
I'll have to really think about that. And also like the impact on my list. Is it like emotion, good emotion or bad emotion?
Yeah.
Like, or you said,
well, not good or bad. Emotion is good. It's just, is it a positive emotion? Is it a negative emotion?
Right. The context. Why is it making you emotional?
Why is it making you emotional? It's so, yeah. Like watching, Avengers Endgame with your newborn child in your arms, and then seeing the scene where I love you 3000.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh yeah. 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 Don't do that again. I could do it with my 3-year-old now, and I'd still get the same reaction. So it's not going to change.
I have never watched Endgame again since I saw it in the theater. I saw a clip.
When's the last time you cried in a theater, Jack?
Yeah, there we go. That was it. I saw, Wakanda Forever was a little, it had its moments. But I watched a clip on YouTube of someone had snuck a camera in and filmed the audience reaction on opening night during Endgame.
Which is always great to see. Yeah. Always great to see the reactions when you see, everybody walk out. You're like, yeah. Oh,
you want to talk about euphoric, and that was my theater too. And I wasn't going to a midnight showing. It was like a Sunday afternoon.
Oh yeah.
And it was
you probably had half people that was seen it twice already, but it didn't matter.
Yeah, but the theater was still packed, and just the calamity that ensued. Can you imagine working in that theater and just knowing what part of the movie that they're at, just for like the first week or so, just based on like the cheering and everything?
Okay, guys, we've got about 35 minutes left. Guys, can you get your stuff? Okay, good. Wrap it up. Okay.